It's 2024. I'm going to give my review of Robinhood after using Robinhood for 4 years. Robinhood is one of the most famous investing apps on the market. I think everybody knows what Robinhood is if you're even a bit involved in investing in the finance community. I've been using Robinhood since 2020. I've had no issues or concerns using Robinhood so far. There are a lot of features on Robinhood, especially if you compare Robinhood to other platforms like M1. M1 is more simple. Robinhood is more complex. There's a lot more financial instruments that you get involved in. There's a lot more financial products that you can get involved in on Robinhood aside from stocks, bonds, and ETFs. There's crypto on Robinhood. There's options on Robinhood. And they also offer margin and leverage on Robinhood, which essentially means that you can take the value of your portfolio that you own outright and you can leverage those assets to buy more of either the same assets that you have in your portfolio or you can buy other assets in your portfolio. Leverage can get a lot of people in trouble because what they'll do is they'll borrow when the market is high and then they'll buy more assets against their already leveraged assets, and then Robinhood or whoever the platform owner is will issue a margin call when the market dips and they need their money back. I wouldn't recommend margin investing on any platform, especially if you're new to investing. It's best not to owe anybody any money. Simply set up an automated amount every week that you contribute toward an asset of your choosing. Robinhood also has a membership called Robinhood Gold. Right now, I think it's $5 a month, and they offer a pretty competitive interest rate on the money that is in your portfolio waiting to be applied toward an asset. I believe right now it's 5% or 5.5%. You can get other competitive interest rates on the money that you're saving on other platforms. Credit Karma is one that I use personally that has a 5.10% savings account interest rate, which is pretty high since interest rates are high at the time of this recording. What I like about Robinhood is it's easy to set up automatic investments. You'll hear me say over and over again that automating your investments is probably the single best decision that you can make in your investing career because it takes you out of the equation and it ensures that you pay yourself first. It takes you out of the loop. If you're in the loop and not on the loop of investing, you'll always try to find another use for the money, or maybe you'll put more in one week than another week. The best thing to do over the long term is to dollar cost average and automate those investments. My investments are set the same amount every week toward VTI, which is the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF, exchange traded fund. And I put a smaller amount into a high dividend yield Vanguard ETF. And then I put a very small amount into stocks that don't cost very much, I think are going to blow up in the next 2 or 3 years. But it's all money that I can afford to lose with those penny stocks. I also put $50 a week into Bitcoin. You can buy crypto on Robinhood. And I put $50 a week toward Ethereum. You can buy Ethereum on Robinhood. And then to get the crypto into an account where I control the keys, what I do is I transfer the crypto from Robinhood, the keys from Robinhood, to my Ledger account once every few months, once the crypto amount that I have in Robinhood reaches a certain threshold. So there's a lot more options on Robinhood, but with options come more confusion. And that's where the cons come in for me with Robinhood is you have namely options, these exotic financial instruments that can get people into a lot of trouble. I never went through the trouble of trying to understand options because I don't have the time to do it. And I had also heard of people losing a lot of money on options. A couple years ago, there was a young guy, I think he was 18 or 19, who committed suicide because he was trading options on Robinhood. He had no idea what he was doing, and he ended up owing the platform, I think it was $500,000, something around that amount, which If you don't know what you're doing and you try to get into these exotic financial instruments, you could end up like that guy and owing the platform $500,000, $1 million, which most people don't have, because Robinhood was created for the common investor like you and me. And the common investor like you and me can't readily access five, six, 700,000, $1 million at once. It's going to take some time. So that guy probably would end up being an indentured servant or something of that effect to Robinhood because he didn't know what he was doing. As opposed to a platform like M1, there's not as many options. And I think with investing, you want to choose an investing platform that has as few options as possible, but has the options that you need to grow your money. And all you really need to grow your money is access to low cost index funds and access to low cost ETFs. You don't even need individual stocks on the platform. You just need access to low cost index funds and low cost ETFs like VTSAX, VTI, VOO, and the whole host of Vanguard funds and the like funds in Schwab and Fidelity. Those are the only financial instruments you need to get rich and to grow your wealth over the long term. Also with Robinhood, I do like the platform. I recommend it if you have discipline, but I don't like how easy it is to trade on Robinhood. What I do like is that they put a day trading limit. Never tried to day trade on Robinhood because day trading over the long term is a losing proposition. The best thing to do is to just buy low cost ETFs and index funds and hold them for 20, 30, 40 years or however long you have to invest, reinvest the dividends, and just keep buying until it's time to draw down on your portfolio. Robinhood is a bit too easy to day trade. The fact that they even allow it on their platform, I understand why they do, because they're a business and they have to make money. But at the same time, even giving people the option to day trade is a bad idea for the individual investor. And if you look at Robinhood's premise, why they were invented, why they came of age in the first place, it was because they gave the common investor like you and me the ability to trade with no fees. Overall, I'd recommend Robinhood because it's easy to set up automatic investments. There are good choices on Robinhood, such as the Vanguard low-cost index funds and the equivalents in Schwab and Fidelity. But there are some things to watch out for on Robinhood. You don't want to get into margin or leverage unless you absolutely know what you're doing, unless you're a seasoned financial professional and you've read a lot about margin and leverage and you understand the risks and you can afford to lose the money that you're going to be leveraging. So you should understand the risks if you want to invest in margin and leverage. Also, you have to be wary of options. Options are complex. Some people will argue with me and say that options aren't complex, but they take a different type of study and understanding, and you can lose a lot of money with options. There are some people who understand options and have been successful at trading options, but most of us are not going to achieve any degree of success with trading options. The best thing to do is to know how to use Robinhood. And the easiest, most simple, and most effective way that I've found to use Robinhood is to look for low-cost ETFs, low-cost index funds, VTI, VOO, the whole suite of Vanguard funds, and invest a set amount, the same amount, automatically from your checking account every single week. And that's been the way that I've used Robinhood, and I've had a lot of success doing so.